is scary up here. So my question is, ever since I was a little kid, would have big imagination, big ideas, big downloads. It felt like just visual downloads.
Often receiving mode, often receiving mode, often receiving mode.
Yeah. And then as I got older, they got more focused into my career area, which was great. And I still loved it. High flying, when they came through, it was amazing. And I'd start to write them down. And for a long time, that was enough. I loved that. And that was good. But as my work progressed, it started to not be enough. And I wanted to make them things. And I feel as though...
Here's something important that we want to say to you before you get too far into this, is that now that you are aware of what the receptive mode really is, because there's a tendency to get involved in the action rather than the feeling of the receptive mode. So the function of writing or scripting or dreaming becomes an action that seems like it's dominant rather than a vibrational place from which you are doing it, which is dominant. You get what we're talking about? What we first want to say to you is that it should not take very long from that receiving of the idea, being in the receptive mode and receiving that idea, until there is a manifestation of it that follows. In other words, that should not be a long period of time. And if it's taking a long period of time, then that means that you're not in the receiving mode that you really think that you're in. You're maybe in a little bit of compensating mode where you're trying to make yourself feel better with visions to compensate for what's actually going on.
So I have a lot more work to do to actually get in alignment.
Not a lot more. It's just a little bit of understanding, just a little bit of tweaking. No, you don't need a lot more work. You're getting this. You're often in the receiving mode. It's just a slight understanding. It happens with Esther too, because she'll get an impulse to do something, and the impulse will be strong, and so she'll follow it through. And sometimes the impulse doesn't pan out to be something that was really the way she thought it was going to be. And then she'll realize, oh, well, I was in a different receiving mode than I really want to claim myself to be in. And when she actually takes the time to notice the correlation between what was going on and what she was actually feeling before that inspiration came, she will realize that sometimes she's just not there. Because sometimes she gets lazy like everybody else and responds to life instead of creating life. That reacts to circumstances rather than creating a vibration that then causes circumstances to be the way you want them to be. And all of that is just the way you learn to ride the bicycle. And as you get better and better and better and better at this, your bicycle's going faster and faster and faster and faster. And so it takes a more streamlined bicycle and better tires and more gears and more practice and.
So I have felt like there is this big thing that I'm meant to build or create, and it's almost like driven me the last 10 years. It's almost felt like it pulled me in direction in my life. And so is that me feeling what's in my vortex but trying to force it?
Yes, because being driven is different than being called. Sort of like pushing a noodle. Is the difference between motivation and inspiration. And it's just a slight receiving mode difference. That's all. It's not a big thing. You're going to be really pleased at how just a little more attention, a little more selfish attention to how you feel. And we really enjoyed the way you began this conversation. Because you, and this is unusual, you actually have visceral memory of what it felt like to be that little girl feeling free. When you said those words to us, you reactivated that feeling, you see. So just say to yourself, I'm going to return to that blissful, carefree, less responsible feeling, open-ended, flowing vortex of creation. Because it's easy to pick up responsibilities along your physical trail that bog you down, you see. So just get rid of them, put the children out for adoption. Open the doors and tell your animals, you're born free. We're just kidding. We are not really encouraging you to free everyone from your life experience, but we are encouraging you to reach for more free-feeling thoughts about the things that you are commonly thinking about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Enough?
Yes, thank you.
Really good.
So that last conversation was great. I've been pushing the noodle for years.
Most do, because you're action-oriented. You're not vibrationally oriented. You're forgetting who you really are. You haven't made a conscious connection. It's natural. But that was then, and this is now. You know things now that you didn't know just a few hours ago. And they've been active in your vibration for long enough that there are going to be some noticeable changes in the receiving mode ideas that flow to you and the speed with which things unfold for you. It's going to be a fun next couple of weeks for all of you.
I was just recently laid off, and I have a year's severance package. I've been attracting that. I've wanted a severance package for like 6 months. And I finally got it, and now I'm in this place of, oh shit, I have to get a job. Instead of just relaxing and saying, this is my time to figure out what my calling is, my true calling.
You just told us that you are action-oriented and that you are used to making things happen. But isn't it a nice thing that this leeway has come to you at a time when you are consciously aware? How much time does it really take you once you decide? How many jobs have you had? 5, 10, 15, 20? How many jobs have you had?
Just a couple.
And once you felt the inspiration to apply, what was the expanse of time between deciding that you were going to get a job and you actually getting a job?
Not very long.
How long?
A few months.
How long? 6 months? 4 months? 3 months?
Yeah.
So you got 9 months to mess around.
Yeah. Yeah.
In other words, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would give ourselves permission to let the inspired job come. And until you're sure it is, you know what an inspired job is? That's where you're not even looking and someone offers it to you. That's where you're doing something else altogether and it just pops into your head in some way and then boom, 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 boom.
And I want to do something completely different. I just don't know what that is
Well, don't
right
get
now.
too involved in that. Don't get too involved in what it won't be. Because when you say, I want it to be different than what has been, you throw a whole bunch of resistance on your trail. And you've already, through the living of life, told the universe what you want it to be. So don't spend any time during these months leading up to what comes next telling the universe what you don't want it to be and activating that within you and then saying, hey universe, see if you can get around this resistance that I put on my trail every day. Make it easy on yourself to receive. Yes?
Yeah, I have a job interview tomorrow and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
It's way too soon.
It is.
It's way too soon.
Okay.
Call them and say, I don't need you for 9 months. Hold on.
Okay, that was my feeling too. I'm like, why am I even doing this? I know I'm not going to take it.
We're just playing with you because you may very well want to enjoy that severance package while you do something else so that you have sort of a double thing going on there. In other words, we're not for a moment suggesting that you don't want to actively get involved, but what we are suggesting is don't get actively involved, if anything, until you really feel that inspired. Do you know what we're talking about? Has it been recent or is it a long time ago? Do you know those feelings of a desire that actually is life-giving in the awareness of the desire itself? You had it all the time when you were little, but those around you often squelched the idea because they couldn't see any way that they were going to help you accomplish it, and so they didn't want you to get disappointed. And so they taught you how to never desire anything because then you never get disappointed. But that flies in the face of everything that you're coming to know. Once that idea comes, you cannot be disappointed. That's how robust and ready for you it is. Once that idea comes, you cannot be disappointed unless you drag old stuff in and just mess it up unnecessarily. You got that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just take your time and have some fun. These are the things that we would encourage you to remember. I've been putting into my vortex all of the pieces that are resulting in a very clear desire. And when I am in the vibrational place of the receptive mode, that desire will come to me in full fruition. So think about how fun it's going to be to know exactly what you want to do, because the vortex knows. And the vortex is telling you. But you got to get in the receptive mode pretty regularly so that you can hear what the vortex is telling you. And then all of a sudden you'll know and you'll say, I now know what it is that I want to do. And then, then that sweet spot of watching the universe just doing its thing, bringing about the circumstances, the events, and delivering right to you this thing that you want. You're going to come away from this feeling so empowered and so worthy and so sure of yourself. Good times.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, a good time was had by all. Yes. From our point of view, it was the most delicious gathering ever. For these reasons. We told you earlier that we have the privilege of knowing who you vortexually are. And so we've known that about you for longer than you know time, really. You keep updating yourself though, you know, and it's good. Because you keep having experiences that keep updating your vibrational version of yourself. And the source within you keeps up with all of that. And then you are so kind that you bring yourself into this delicious consensus of consciousness. And you present yourself into this forum in two ways. You don't realize it often, but you bring your inner beings with you when you come. So there's a cadre of non-physical that is filling these airwaves while you are here in your physical format. You are so much more than you sometimes recognize that you are. So here we all are in this focused auditorium, in this focused forum where we get to experience up close and personal the vibrational frequency of you and you. And then we get to experience the deliciousness of feeling the convergence of you with you. So when we say to you that we liked this especially a lot, that is precisely what we're talking about. We're talking about your patience and your willingness to listen to us say some things that you've heard many times in new ways. Your willingness to participate and bring to the forum your question, which activates our answer, which brings the vibration of the whole to a whole new place. Together we've taken thought beyond that which it has been before. And that matters to us. It matters to all that is. And someday, more than now, it will matter to you as well. But for each of you individually, the shifting that has taken place has been pronounced. And it is exhilarating to us to anticipate what that means next for you. It is our desire that you leave here not with an attitude of making a great effort. Don't try to remember it. Don't try to repeat it to someone else. Don't try to explain to someone who didn't have the delicious benefit of their own vibration raising to a place that is where yours is. Don't try to explain to them where you are. They won't get it. Just bask in the knowledge that you've come into greater harmony with who you are than you have in a very long time, or maybe ever, and then expect to see tangible, visceral, materializing results. And the best part of it is, then you get to know what we've been talking about noting the correlation between how you are feeling and what's happening next. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain stubbornly and joyfully in your